Well, my experience has been, for the most part, that the court here, the training seems to be paying off, because I get a sense from the staff that's around us each and every day that they're aware of these issues, they've been taught about these issues, and they go out of their way to try to make pretty much anybody who comes into the courthouse as comfortable as possible. And it's a good thing to sit here as a judge who's openly gay, to honestly tell you, I've to this point, I've only been here a year, but to this point, I've never seen anything except people being treated the way they should be treated when they come into a court, to hear their matter, to have their matter heard, and to have a fair hearing on the issues, and only the issues.
I think we have a heads up here in Hudson and in New Jersey, because I think we're more of a progressive state where people are more aware of it. There's more people that are out. There's here in Jersey City, there's Pride Day. The committee and the idea of reminding the staff and from the top to the bottom about these issues is good to get the mindset, because of the employees, and we're employees too, and we're in customer service. But everybody should be treated fairly, and when you get these recommendations and these memos and things like this, it reminds it, and once you know it, I think, because there might be some people from a different age or from a different area, they're all brought up to speed. So I think it's been very helpful, because we all want people to feel welcomed, and the job that the administrative office of the courts does remind us. Now, as gay men on the bench, I think we're already sensitive to it, but not everybody is, even in Hudson County.
When people go into a courthouse, they want to feel that people can understand them, understand their problems and their situation. So when you come into a courthouse and you're aware, for example, there's a Latino judge and you're a Latino, or you're a gay man and there's a gay judge, you know that there are people there that have had similar life experiences. And the more diverse our courts are, the more people are going to feel that comfortable feeling, knowing that there are people in the system that understand their particular situations, the things that they have gone through, the experiences of their life. And I think the more diverse that we are, the better it is for anyone coming into the courthouse.
Now, just to follow up, when you walk into our courtrooms, there's no rainbow flag hanging from the flagpole, so it might not be. You don't have every opportunity to have them know that the litigants know that who you are. But I think there are ways to get that across. If I conference a case with attorneys and somehow mentioned about family, then I'll mention that I went away this weekend from my partner, so that they know. And not all the attorneys, of course, are gay, but on other occasions when the litigants come forth, we have name changes. And the name changes, I like doing them. Sometimes you could do them on the papers and not see the people, but I like to have them come in. And when someone's changing their name because they've changed their gender identity or something along those lines, I make a point to say, hey, I know probably it was very hard because I'm an openly gay man and this is such a great day for you, and I've only gotten smiles. So yeah, I know in that instance that at least we connected, and that was a good experience for them. And I actually was happy for them too. So I think that's how we get that message out.
I'm an openly gay man, but I don't try to bring that into the business of being a judge. I come in, I do my job, and it really is not something that should really interfere with what I'm here to do. But there are instances where you do get to deal with that. For example, with weddings, right? You get to do a gay wedding, and you're in chambers and you're doing that, and it's a little bit more of a relaxed situation. And I know from having lived the life that I lived that can be an intimidating situation. A gay couple coming into a courthouse to get married, and there may be some tension about who's marrying us. Are they going to be okay marrying us? Are they going to feel a certain way about marrying us? I can imagine, that those feelings exist. So those are the moments where perhaps you do show that, where you do mention it, or perhaps they look at a picture that you have on your desk of your son or your partner, and it becomes part of that experience. So I think it definitely comes to work with you, but it's something that when you're out on the bench, it's a totally different story. That's the way I look at it.
That we're openly gay is something that could easily be hidden, right? And I think that's where your question was going at, because, if I'm not, Asian or Indian or black, where you can't hide those things. But when you're gay, you do. I mean, and I don't go on the bench in a Liberace costume so everybody knows. But I think and we don't bang a drum of who we are, in every moment and say to everybody, "Oh, I'm the gay judge in civil." We don't do that. We don't do that. But what Judge Velasquez said is true. We've had gay couples who've come in, and you're right, they may not know. And I made a point, that I'm in a similar situation, that I'm dating and I haven't made the big step yet. And again, people felt so welcome. And you're doing a great job when it's like a celebration that they don't have to be afraid of it anymore. At least not with us.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's easy, right? My brother is a retired Judge Hector Velasquez, so I came to Hudson County after graduating from law school, and I had that foundation of my brother being in Hudson County and being part of this community, both in the legal community and the political community, in all aspects of it. So I already had somebody that was doing great things, and it was very easy for me kind of to follow his lead and to take his advice and get to the place where I am today.
Well, when it comes to mentoring and becoming a judge, there are many people that are responsible for, I believe, how I am as a judge today, whether it was former employers, former judges. There was a number of people, your parents, etc. But becoming a judge, it was well known when I was going through the application process, it was probably the same for you, that we were openly gay. The application paperwork says, who do you live with? And you put your partner, your husband, whatever language you want to use. So it's open and it's out there. And that was of no concern. I don't think it was any concern for you either, was it? So, I mean, that's how far we've come. And when I was sworn in, a judge from Union County attended. He says, it's just because he was a student of the 60s. And he says, look at here, we have your partner is holding the Bible when you're sworn in. How far we've come. And we have come a great deal. So we've made a lot of progress. And that process doesn't thwart because that we're gay. It's not a problem, and I think that's great. With regards to mentoring, I think it is so important because this is a difficult job, whether being a judge, a lawyer, a court clerk, or whatever the position is. So I make a point, and as I know that you do, to speak to whether it's a law clerk, how to ask questions, and sometimes even attorneys, socially, they say, Judge, and because I think that is so important, because knowing my days as a lawyer, it was like, go try a case, and that was the training you got. I didn't really receive any. So I think it's so important, and I know that's a popular word, mentoring, who's your mentor, but really it's necessary.
Well, it's a constant battle, right? I mean, we've made a lot of progress in New Jersey. But New Jersey is just one part of our country. There's still a lot of work to do in other parts of the country, but Jersey's kind of a special place because we've always kind of been ahead of the game. We were ahead of the game with single parent adoption. I adopted my son as a single gay dad, and so New Jersey is kind of like always been ahead. Hudson County was the first county to offer benefits to partners of gay employees. So that says a lot about where we live, and we're way ahead of the curve here. But it's one of these things where I feel we always have to stay vigilant. We have to keep what we have, and keep working forward. Because, the process of coming out, we haven't really discussed that today, the process of coming out at any age, it's still a difficult process emotionally And we have to make sure, I think, as we go forward, that our younger people are understanding, that it's a process to come out, but they'll get through it, and they can look at us as examples as well as other people here in our community. It's always, I think, going to be focused on our youth and what we can do to make that initial coming out process so much easier. And I think we see a lot of children in the courts, and we have a lot of families have issues in the court, gay couples who have children or adopting children or bringing children into the mix. Those processes also affect the children that are observing them and that are in the court, taking part of that process. I can tell you that because I experienced that with my own son, who went through the process with a single gay dad, and got a very supportive situation here in Hudson County. So we had to continue that process of not only moving forward, but protecting the gains and progress that we've made.
Well, we've achieved a lot of good things here in New Jersey. The law against discrimination covers gay people and other people under that umbrella, and that. So we've won the war on the books, but I don't know if we've won the war with per person's hearts, because there is still violence, occasionally here in New Jersey, sometimes right in Manhattan, against gay people and transgendered people. So we have to be vigilant. I think that's the word you said, and it's true, because we have all good laws about against discrimination against people because of their race or women, and yet that still is prevalent. So we have to continue that effort to, one, it's not going to be tolerated, but then those people sometimes go into the ground, and we have to be vigilant so that that's not going to be part of what we are, what our court system is.
Just be yourself. Live your life. Don't be afraid that who you are is going to somehow stop you from achieving the goals that you want to achieve. My experience here in New Jersey has always been positive in terms of who I am. I can tell you, I don't recall ever having anybody call me a name or act negatively, send me dirt and nasty letters, things of that sort after I came out publicly. So be yourself. You should not be. Don't let fear of being yourself stop you from achieving the things that you want to achieve.
Just as a follow-up, I would say go for it. And I wish that, and I don't know if there are resources for that, or for role models such as, how many young gay people or transgender people who are 18 or 20 or 22 know about us? Even may our experiences may be a little different because we're older, but that we're a resource. I wish there was some way that we could have that. Well, they're not just us. We're not the only two gay judges. There's others, and there's other people in the staff. So I think my advice to them is go for it, and somehow if that word could get out who we are, so we could mentor or speak to those people, I think that'd be a win-win.